Hello YouTube, and what we have behind me here, 74 Ford. You're asking yourself, this is an off-road channel, what are you doing with the 74 Ford? Well, if you've been around a while, you know that this started out as Bullitt Garage, and Bullitt Garage consisted of a 74 Ford and a 1993 Kawasaki ZX-7R. So as the progression went through, I had the 74 Ford, I had the 1993 Kawasaki ZX-7R, I had a 2005 and then a 2006 6-liter Power Stroke. And those videos consisted of how-tos, demonstrations, things like that. And so what eventually happened is I kind of got into like the moto vlogging. So I started doing like road trips and things with a Ducati. And it wasn't really my shtick. And so it progressed into off-roading, because around here we have a lot of off-road trails, and a lot of those trails aren't really focused on or highlighted or anything like that. And so if you have an idea like, hey, I want to go to such and such trail like Kelly Flats or 7 Mile or something like that, and you wanted to see kind of what you have to expect, there wasn't really a lot out there. And so what I did with a 2013 Razor 800, I started going out and kind of highlighting and focusing with the different trails we had around here. Well, we had the fires in 2020, and with that being said, a lot of the trails were closed in this area, and so most of them reopened in 2021. We still have a couple trails that are still closed here in 2023 from the fires in 2020. So what I found myself is that I didn't want to keep highlighting the exact same trails over and over and over again. With that also being said, I had GoPro issues out the yin yang and just wasn't worth it to me. What I was also doing in the meantime was snowmobiling. Really loved snowmobiling, and I really got into vintage sleds. And so along with Taylor, who's been on this channel a few times, we picked up some vintage sleds. So I had a 96 Ultra Polaris RMK. Really liked that sled, but I had some tuning issues. And it was an overall a very decent, nice looking sled. Ended up selling that to the professional snowmobile Chris Brandt, who lives here in Colorado. Picked up another 96 Polaris Ultra. This is also an RMK. Very nice condition, totally stock. I'm gonna leave it stock. For the most part, it runs great. There's no reason really to mess with it too much. What I have coming soon is a 1992 Polaris 650, also known as the Pumpkin because it's black and orange. Highly sought after. It's coming from Minnesota, I believe. And Taylor offered to pick that up for me, and on the way back he stopped by Todd Klein, and if you know Greasy Triples, you know Todd Klein. So Todd Klein took a look at it. He diagnosed that it had a bad fuel pump, so I'll take care of a few of those things. I think that one's more aesthetics maybe than anything. With my current 96 Ultra, it needs a motor mount, and I'm probably gonna go ahead and do a top end kit on that. So but other than that, it runs fantastic. So while I have the engine out, I figured I might as well put some pistons and rings in it. Not a big deal. So here, I wanted to show that I have a 74 Ford. This is actually an F250 Ranger XLT. Originally grabber blue on top and Wimbledon white on the bottom. And I went ahead and did wind blue on the bottom to mix it up a little bit. Used to be a long bed. I went ahead and shortened it. So chopped the frame and re-welded. And then took the original bed, shortened that. So again, we got grabber blue and wind blue on the bottom. Ranger XLT trim on the tailgate there. I did zero body work on the tailgate, basically just scuff and paint. Just pretty much left it as it was. Even still has the, back in the day, the dealer would actually drill holes in sheet metal and put their emblem on things. So, I mean, that remains, but I did zero body work on the tailgate. I just didn't feel the need, even though, you know, I went through the work of doing the body work and things like that on the bed and the cab. I'm still gonna use it as a truck because that's what they're made for. So it's all new sheet metal. This is from AMD. And I was highly impressed with the quality of the craftsmanship and the work on this sheet metal. It was just amazing what they can do these days. So AMD bedsides and inners. AMD, that front bulkhead there. That's the original floor. The bed liner is kind of covering up like how dented and wavy it was, but overall it was in very, very, very good condition. This truck was originally from Rifle, Colorado. So it had actually very minimal rust. The typical rust, you know, you find here on the wheel arches, just the way the Ford designed these things, it just traps all the goo and everything right there. So that was rusted out on the original truck. And then also the cab corners. So cab corners replaced on this. Other than that, those two specific areas, zero rust on this truck. It was definitely used in some sort of daily activity. I think it had a ladder rack or something on it because the top of the roof had 3 distinct kind of dents. So it makes me wonder if they had a ladder rack that went up and over the cab or something. It's very interesting what was going on up there. And then the way the bed was, how they originally had like a box mounted in there. And then the original bed sides had some different things kind of drilled and attached there. So it was definitely used as a work truck back in the day. Roughly 140,000 miles on this truck. And it was originally a 390. I pulled that and put in a 460. So we got 460 in a C6 transmission, CVS pulley system, and eventually doing a Lincoln Mark 8 electric fan. That'll be a lot later. Already have the 3G alternator installed. But that's the LMC chrome grille. So this is kind of phase 2 was the bed. Phase 1 was the cab, so to speak. I guess you could say it was the engine and transmission swap first, but you know, engine, transmission. Then I did the bodywork on the cab. Did all the modifications of bodywork to the bed. And then kind of phase 3 or phase 4, however you want to think about it. That's a Ford Explorer 8.8 rear with disc brakes, 373 rear end, and then American Racing torque thrust. So I will be installing the DJM drop beams and some Ford Explorer front springs, so that should drop the front end 4 to 5 inches. And then the axle flip on the rear should drop at about 5 to 6. So probably like a 5-6 inch drop, you know, 5 and 6. So I have a pretty good stance to it. I know there's gonna be some naysayers saying I can take a 3/4 ton truck and turn it into a 1/2 ton. Well, it's my truck, and that's what I want to do. If they made cooler wheels for the 8 lug, I probably would have kept it. But so far, that's the project. So I guess I don't know what to call it. It is an F250, but I'm turning it into an F100. But is what it is, I suppose. That's how it goes. But I'd like to highlight some snowmobile stuff here coming up. As soon as I get the pumpkin here in the garage, and then I pull in the 96 Ultra as well to do a top end kit in the motor mount. And then the aesthetics and different rebuild and stuff on the 92 pumpkin. So I think it'd be a lot of fun. So I know YouTube doesn't really like it when you don't upload very often, and that's been the case with this channel. I haven't really uploaded a whole hell of a lot. Like I said, it's been camera issues, and just the content was, you know, I don't want to highlight the same trail over and over and over and over again. You can only take so many videos of Pratt Creek or Kelly Flats and things like that around here. Still have the Razor. Don't go out as often as I used to, especially with, you know, this project going on. My previous 74, I sold that in 2011. Yeah, 2011 is when I sold my previous 1974 F100, and I had owned that since 1993. It was my first truck, the truck I had in high school. Built that up, had a dual quad 428. Really fun truck to drive, but I just wasn't driving it as much at the time, and so I figured rather than let it, you know, rot in the garage, went ahead and let it go. So I've been looking for a project for a while. I was thinking of another truck because I really like the Fords. A VW Beetle. I like the 60s Beetles. I think that'd be kind of fun. Torino is one of my favorite cars, which are a little rare to find in usable condition, so to speak. And I really like Challengers and Roadrunners, and of course the prices are sky high on those, so I was like, I don't want to spend a fortune up front for the car and then do all the work. I got this pickup here for $2,700 bucks, so pretty reasonable. Like I said, had great bones to it, so it was really easy to kind of dig in and rebuild it. And a lot of these parts are coming from like Dennis Carpenter, LMC, most of it readily available. I really like to get new upper trim here. This is some short bed that I was able to scrounge up. I polished it as good as I could. It definitely doesn't look as nice as the trim on the cab there. That polished up really nice. It's really straight. Whereas this one, the short bed style, it could use some work. So that's the channel. It's probably gonna branch out a little bit here. I'll probably focus a little bit more on this truck. You know, there's not much left to do. Basically, like I said, phase 3 or 4, whatever, is the suspension work. And then after that is the snowmobiles. And then by the time those are pretty much ready to go, snow will be flying. And last year was epic for snowmobiling. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I really enjoy it. So hopefully if the cameras hold up in the winter, I can show some of that content, because I've had cameras freeze up on the helmet with the snowmobile. So we'll see what comes of that. So come along on the journey. Welcome to Bullitt Outdoors, where anything goes. So we'll see where it goes. Thank you for joining along. Like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll see you later. Peace.